What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, and welcome back to another proud and prosperous version of Tribe Talks podcast featuring sometimes Galaxy of Heroes bullshit and Karth and me. Hi, Karth. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. I'm just reaching back here real quick for some Eagle Rare.
I mean, I'm also reaching the glass to my mouth for some Eagle Rare.
Well, I hadn't poured mine yet. It's only 1:30
Well,
in the afternoon.
what can I say? Sometimes I come early, okay? Sometimes it happens. It happened today.
Every
okay?
time.
All right, fine. Every time I'm already
A wizard
drinking.
arrives precisely when he means to. Okay?
Exactly. They know
What I'm
how to.
going with.
Yeah, they just don't have the time for delayed gratification, Karth. When a whiskey is needing to be drunk, it needs to be drunk immediately. So I don't see the problem. I failed to see the problem here. Apart from the fact that I do have work in the morning and maybe I shouldn't be drinking whiskey, but
I mean, you shouldn't drink a lot of whiskey. You could always drink some.
yeah, just slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to do that.
Don't do shots.
No, one does not shot Eagle Ray. I have not been. I've not been shotting this. I've been shotting Spiced Gold Captain Morgan's on Friday night, which was it was fun considering we had no GAC to do. It was it was good. It was a trip. It was a trip. So yeah. What? Oh, right. I thought you were reaching for a separate bottle of whiskey there, and you're like, nope, just time to put the fan on.
No, yeah, the bedroom or my office is pretty poor circulation of air. So the rest of the house has been a bit cold because like the house is like basically two halves.
Mm-hmm.
So one half of the house is where the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and everything are, and the other half is like completely open floor concept. The kitchen opens in the living room and the dining room are connected together with there's no divider in between it. So that part of the house, if you open a door or whatever else, you bleed a lot of hot air really quickly.
Right.
And so it stays cooler out there. So we actually had snow last night out of the blue.
I want snow.
And so it got really cold out there. So we jacked the heat up in the house to get that re-warmed up properly. But now my office feels a little bit
like a sauna,
sweaty. Yeah, not fair. Quite that bad, but getting way closer than further.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, it has been getting. It's a bit weird here in the UK. We've had some times when it's been like 1 degrees, but that's Celsius. That's not in freedom heat. So like that's pretty cold. That's pretty cold, but then it's been jumping back up to like 15, and that's kind of balmy. I'm like, I want my winters to be cold. I want it to feel like it's Christmas time. Tomorrow is December 1st, and that is officially Christmas month has begun. So I want it to feel cold. But the first thing that I want to talk about today is the most amazing thing that happened on Saturday. It was fantabulous. It made me feel like I was a success. Not because Wales lost to South Africa 72-0 in the rugby, but before that, I had a random person come up to me and said, "Are you Scribe Gaming?" I was like, "Are you fucking high?" Some dude recognized me, and my brother was there to see it. And I acted like a little schoolgirl. Not in front of him, obviously. I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He was like, "I've been watching your videos. I was watching your shorts earlier today." I was like, "No fucking way." So that made me very, very happy. He shook my hand. He said, "Keep it up." He walked off, and then I promptly high-fived my brother and had a big grin on my face. So I think I can retire now because I've been recognized in the street.
I mean, I wouldn't quite give it the ghost yet.
Listen, I'm going to get called on to this morning in the UK. They're going to have me on Sunday brunch because I'm officially famous. It has to be true.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you agree. So I expect the record deals to be coming in any moment. Sponsorships out the wazoo. I can retire. I can retire.
I won't argue.
Yeah. But then we did get absolutely fucking destroyed by South Africa in the rugby. So my brother and I we stopped watching at the halfway point and just kept drinking and left before the match ended because it was
Well,
that
that's
depressing.
how you beat traffic. That's how you
It,
beat
it
traffic.
really was, because it was the game was being played in Cardiff and we were in Cardiff, so it was like if we wait for the match to end, it's gonna be a nightmare getting out of town. So we left a little bit early.
Yeah, I've done that. The last time I went to a sports game in Portland, it was like the match was pretty well decided.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, middle of the fourth quarter, like, you just saw a lot of people leaving at that junction, but like everyone's trying to do the same thing. We did do courtside tickets one year in the playoffs versus I think it was the Trailblazers versus the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, and then that one was like we decided we're like screw it, we're gonna stay here until the stadium is empty, and then we'll leave. How often do you get to sit courtside?
Never. I never. Well, I mean, I've also never. What would be the opposite of courtside?
The nosebleeds.
I've never watched in the nosebleeds either. So, you know, I've never seen a game of basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball. Yeah, because they play on a basketball court, whereas baseball doesn't get played on a baseball court.
Nope.
So that would make sense. Courtside would be basketball. See? I'm learning already. I'm so proud of me too. Yeah. No. Maybe when I go to the States next year after, I will see a fabled basketball match and be like, yeah, ball sports.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're not invested into the team or play, the sport at all, then it gets really like, wow.
I'm sure I would enjoy it.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
you'd enjoy drinking beer while you watch. Yeah.
Yes, I can confirm. That is something that I usually do enjoy, is drinking most alcoholic beverages just in general. But yeah, I could totally do that. So yeah. Can't wait. So, we're about to have IG90 in the game, and how pissed off are you that the Cantina screen has this little red fucking dot next to IG90 you can't get rid of?
More than I should be. More than I should be is the right answer.
I'm unreasonably annoyed.
Like, I keep clicking it like it's going to do something or go away, and it's just like, nah, dog, you're stuck with staring at me. And I'm like, I don't like this. I like my prompts to go away. Yeah. The only reason I intentionally ever leave them is for when I need to redo my GAC board. So I'll delete a team so it reminds me to do it before lock-in finishes. But that's about it. That's my only reason for it. Is like, I just hate that I can't click on it. I'm like, just let me click on you.
Yeah,
do the thing.
Let me dismiss the thing. It's like, I know IG90, you are coming in 2 frickin' days. Like, is that red dot going to be there for 2 days? Yeah, it is. I'm going to be angry about this. I'm going to be angry. So, also, that does mean that it's get ready to whale time, Karth.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm interested actually in seeing, is how much needs to be whaled on this one, mat-wise, compared to what we were with the changes to Coliseum and everything else. How much should we be able to reasonably progress now, with only needing to probably invest into the era currency itself and not the
materials,
the materials. So that's the part I'm interested to see and how that plays out. Outside of that, yeah, I'm not looking forward to another, 300 some odd bucks on, a character I can't use for.
You don't want to be spending that much money on a new era unit?
Not massively, no. Surprisingly, I know that's weird to say, but it is not.
But what really about those R10 packs though? Maybe that's. I'm just disappointed there's only 3.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like, it's a good thing there's only 3, because then I can spread it out over it'll come back at Christmas. I guarantee you, it'll be back at Christmas.
Dude, don't you think it's gonna come back in 2 weeks at the end of the next marquee? I'll be like, ha,
no,
here you go.
No, I don't think it has to be reasonably spaced, because then it's too oppressive. Yeah. Like, you can't spending that much every 2 weeks on a Relic 10.5. It's just not the risk. The reward isn't really worth the cost. to do it that way. But if it was like once a month, I could see that it's how they've done it in the past. Most relic packs, when they come out with a new relic level, they usually do it once a month. And then from there it kind of keeps cycling forward, but it just depends on what they end up adding into Relic 10. Like if they add a game mode that requires it, or
yeah, I mean, they're going to have to eventually.
They're going to eventually they're going to have to. But the big picture, of course, is just when does that occur, and how long you're farting on the road? Because it's like,
well, I think it's pretty safe to say nothing's going to happen this year in terms of Relic 10 requirements.
Well, yeah.
Barrier to entry. Yeah. Like, the earliest we'll see it is the start of the next era. But I would say even then, I wouldn't hold your breath for an R10 requirement or event to be around
if they do a journey guide not tied to the era itself, then I could see the potential for that being one of the earlier R10s. That, or it's going to be maybe a Galactic Legend, or they might incentivize it with an R10 tier in the raid. There's a whole variety of things that they can do to incentivize it. It just depends on what goes along with it. Because that if there's not enough reward for it, then no one's going to.
Well, exactly.
The engagement will be lower. I don't want to say no one will engage, because that's a blatant lie.
Yeah, he says
just engagement will be lower.
I mean, we know it will happen because it comes straight from CG's own mouth. They said for their progression system to matter, you need to have a way to progress. You need to have a way to earn that progression and somewhere to use it that feels good. Right now, all we've got is the way to progress, right? We've got a new relic level in Relic 10, but we don't have a way that sort of feels good. We don't have like, oh, here's a new era battle and you need to use R10 units, or here's a new raid and there's an R10 tier, or, and nothing like that exists just yet.
Yeah,
but
yet, yeah.
They're definitely thinking about it. They are.
We know it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know it's coming. That's not a huge surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little lost on it. That's all. Like, I get it. It's the next new thing. There are going to be things that you can take advantage of. There will be certain niche incentives for certain investments, but hey, they got to come hard and fast with implementation. Otherwise, you're going to see nobody engage with the other game modes.
I mean, the only reason anybody's got any R10s right now, apart from the whales, is because of the free calendar they gave out, right? So if it wasn't for that, the engagement with Relic 10 would be rock bottom anyway. And there's still people that have got that calendar and are holding their Relic 10 because there's no reason right now. And they would rather be, like, prepared for when something drops. So they just hold, and I don't blame anybody to hold on to their Relic 10s. It's a sensible thing to do. Right now, there's not really a Relic 10 in the game that makes a monumental difference to anything.
No.
Right now.
No, not really. Not right now, no. No, somebody had pulled up a little Excel sheet on the cost for a character to take them to level 95 for the era. And if you're outright buying everything, and this is just the cost for the era materials and the currency, the level currency, nothing to do with getting a character 7 stars or anything of that nature. $425 for that. Now, granted, we know for a fact that cost should come down quite a bit. And the only time you get close, the only time you get close to that is probably the first marquee of an era. Is the only time you'll probably get close to that cost. But it just, my brain starts looking at that, going like, man, like, you got to add the 7 stars on top of that, which is like another 150-ish bucks, 130 to 150, depending on what you do.
So you're talking $500-600 in total if you want to go full hog.
and that's not even getting you a Relic 9 character, and I'm just like,
no, it's getting you Relic 6, but it would pretty much guarantee you top 10 in Colosseum for at least the first week, first 2 weeks.
The problem with that, though, is like, if you break down the in-game value of the items that came with that Relic 10 pack.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you're much better off just buying that.
there's $300. You get a Relic 9 and a Relic 10 and a half, plus you get the droid brains and
The
GURD
good
keypads and
keypads
the arrows
and
and the impulse
and the
the
signal data.
and the signal data. You are way better doing that than you are anything else. It's like, I honestly, like, this era I'm looking at on my main account, getting everything to ending at era level 95 so that I can write a kind of detailed synopsis of like
value proposition.
Well, value, but also like the like actually like keeping track of it, like, you know, how much do we actually fall, like the cost of the Luke versus the cost of who's the last one? Is it Vader's the last one?
Vader is the last one. Yeah. It's
so like
Barriss then Vader.
If it's if I get very high value, like if Luke costs me $450 to day one level 70, and Vader costs me $200 because it's the shards plus the very minimal amount needed to get to level 70 or whatever that requires, then if that scales down to where the average is acceptable, then I won't be as upset. But if the average stays high to where I'm paying 2 to 3 times the amount I was prior to the game mode existing, or Colosseums, or the era system existing, then I'm going to engage with it very minimally and just hoard my resources and level that character up on my own. I'll just get the shards and then wait.
Especially if they bring those Relic 10 packs, it won't be frequently, but you can offset some of the value of being top 10 in the Colosseum if you can supplement it with those packs that you're not spending on era levels. I mean, the part that turns it off for me is how much money you have to drop on characters for levels that you're getting for free anyway. You know?
Yeah.
That's the part that irks me. Because, like, what does it cost to go to 65?
$90. No, 65. 45 is $90. I think 65, it runs you, let's see, 65, it's somewhere around the it's probably like just under 200, probably maybe like 190.
God. See, like, that's so expensive, dude. For what you're paying for is for some additional Relic 10 mats is what it is. And I'd rather just
early
buy the
access to it. Yeah, you're paying for early access to it, and exactly, I just would rather. I would rather at this point 7-star and then just flounder for 10 weeks, get the get to level 70 eventually on the characters, and then maybe drop the $15 per marquee to get them to era level 75 to be able to unlock them at gear 13 when I get them in my account.
Yeah.
Now the only question beyond that is, does CG double down on a very big dick move here and require for a 7-star Maul unlock to have anything beyond era level 70?
We talked about this on Friday, didn't we? Like, I mean, I put out a whole video on it earlier this week because it's a genuine concern for me. Because, like, the reason I wail on stars is because I want the unlock day one. I do the unlock day one so that I can make videos on it and be like, hey, look, guys, this is how you do the event. This is how you unlock Maul. This is how you unlock Jedi Master Mace Windu. This is how you unlock whatever, you know? Like, that's why I wail on these character shards, mostly. You know, I could still, I could probably balance it a little bit more and use more crystals instead of just cash dumping for marquee shards. But if that's off the table for me, unless I spend additional money again on all of these characters going beyond era level 70, and who knows how high that's going to be for a day one unlock. Don't know if it's going to be 70 or 95. If it's 95, that's extortionately more expensive per character. Like, that would be such a shit move to do. Like, and I've asked CG about it, and there's been crickets. I know they're away. I know they're on annual leave, but we've had other responses about other topics from CG. And it's crickets when it comes to what's the expected error level requirement for 5, 6, 7-star journey guides in the era. Because, if I have to wait 6 months, I might as well not wail on the shards. I'll just farm them normally. Maybe I'll get some. Maybe I'll get them to 4 stars or 5 stars, but I won't be dropping the big bucks on them anymore. It's just weird. So I don't know.
The biggest issue I run into when it comes down the pike of if you cannot unlock at level 70, and you have to spend that $15 per marquee. Now it won't be per marquee, right? It's you need to buy 3 to get 6, right? Roughly.
Yeah, it's 3 of that. I think it's 15. The $15 pack for the 70 to 80 pack. The levels 70 to 80. You need to buy 3 of those, and that will cover you for the 6 marquees to go to level 75. But 75 is just an assumption from us. What if it's higher? You know, if the level starts, if it's higher than 75, that cost is going to multiply. You know, it's
well, and that's the part that I'm really, really going to be losing my shit on if that's where they go down to, because it's like yes, you did require those marquees at Relic 5 for previous events, but that came out of my own preparedness and resources that I had in your resource management game. And now you're taking away my resources of forcing me to buy new temporary resources to get them to the appropriate level to then participate in something that I could have already done prior to this.
It's just like it's an artificial barrier to entry. Essentially, it's a lock on time. It's like, oh yeah, you could do it now, even though you've got all the resources to take these characters to the equivalent unlock level. You're only going to do it now if you give money. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait 6, 9, 12 months. It's like, that's shit.
If they do that, then I think that's when we just lay into them in a non-ceasing fashion of just like, you've completely missed the mark of what the hell we're supposed to be doing here. And they need to be told that, because that is absolutely ridiculous to sit there and go, okay, well, you know, it's not any different. It's still a Relic 5 requirement. It's like, yeah, but it's a Relic 5 requirement with additional $100 thrown on top of it. Like, I can Relic 5 by sneezing on a character these days. And you're telling me as a character, as a player who's played this game for the better part of 8 years now, am going to be punished for what I've collected as a resource in my resources, because this new system just devalues all of that. And so it's like the only way you could feasibly even make that up to me as a player is if you gave me ways to convert my thousands of Carbonite circuit boards into anything useful. But if I can't, then it's just like, well, why would I bother? I'll just go to level 75. I'll shell you out the unfortunate, you know, $45, and I will take my character 75. I'll get them at relic level, you know, 0. And then I'll just do it myself, and I won't pay you anything, because otherwise, Jesus Christ, man, like I'll come unglued on that point. Like I'm gonna try to do my best Ranger rant that I can at that junction to just curse at them left, right, and center, because it just doesn't make any sense. It completely devalues all my time investment in the game to go, well, but you know what we really love is your money, and I'm like, we knew that. Yeah, can we
everybody
at least be less shitty about how you get it from me? Because the new one really just and
sucks. It would be such a shame as well, because and I've said this several times, the characters that they've released in this anniversary update are really cool. Like, the characters are, well, I mean, you know, I don't really care for IG-90 apart from the fact that he's going to lift Aphra, and I like that idea, right? But the actual characters themselves are cool, and it's like, what a way to like burst your bubble by being like, yeah, I know they're cool, but you can't use them for 3 months. And if you really want to get the unlock, you're going to have to spend more money on top of the money that you already normally spend, because reasons. It's like, oh, man. Oh, man. I will say, because I don't want to be incredibly negative all the time, I do think that the changes they did recently to Colosseum were a positive change. Like, it feels like the actual battles feel a lot better now that you're not getting capped at that 1 damage. And your scores go at a higher pace, because I had a massive jump in Colosseum scores when they adjusted. God, yeah. It was, and you know, my Luke is error level 24. I didn't spend any cash on error levels. I used the crystal packs to get to like 15, and now I've managed to get to 24 through basically just beating tiers of the Colosseum. And that felt quite. Don't get me wrong; it's still a little bit stunted, a little bit slow in going from certain, like there's certain level thresholds where you get stuck at for several days, and you're just like, there's nothing I can do.
I mean,
and that kind of sucks. But
that's been me the entire time. When the changes happened and we got that first rotation, I was able to jump up, but like right now, the best scores on the bracket are people who are getting the crits. That's it. I am not going to sit there and run the battles, 20 times to try to get a crit on an ability or land vulnerable on the second special.
No. And I'm certainly not going to be dropping that 250 crystals to refresh my attempts.
No, and so I'm just sitting here looking at this going like, I mean, I get where your heads are at, but like if you wind up with a lot of big spenders in your account where you're going to be forced out of
your shard, yeah?
In your shard, where you're going to be forced out of the top 10 because you couldn't land a crit is going to be like the worst feeling in the world. And I really hope CG kind of tags people who are spending aggressively and kind of keeps them in their own shards. I know that doesn't seem fair, but I don't think they're going to do that at all. No, I know, but still, my point is that it annoys me that if that's going to be the case, it's like, did you get any crits, or did you get multiple crits on your runs? Now, granted, it'll be better
the enemy
when we have
randomly decide not to do AoEs, because sometimes they don't do their AoEs and they just basic instead, and you're like, oh, okay, I survived an extra round of attacks because you didn't AoE me, and maybe your Luke has got his mass assist off cooldown, and you gain an extra 10% or something like that,
Yeah, it'll be better with loaned units because you can actually configure teams and leadership abilities and things of said nature, and it'll be better at that junction. But this first one, it's like I'm not looking forward through the first era. I feel like we're kind of being thrown to the wolves here on like how this is supposed to work. And
it definitely feels like this is going to be the shittest era in terms of Colosseum enjoyment and era challenges, and they're going to take a bunch of learnings from this first one, and it's going to improve over time, kind of like how how Conquest evolved gradually over time. I feel like they are going to fine-tune this game mode, and it will get better, but right now it's just going to be a very painful experience, which is what. But they also said that they're going to introduce some form of in-error modding, right? Ways to modify our stats and stuff. So I don't know what that's going to look like either.
I don't know either, because it's just like, for me at this junction, it seems just like crit chance is all you need to do better. Like, granted, more offense will help and things of that nature.
More speed.
More speed, so that the ATS doesn't take like 6 turns to your one.
Or if you could even just slightly alter the turn order, that would be great. Like, if I could alter the turn order on these characters, I can see some level of strategy being implied there. So, because right now I have, like, as a content creator, and I know this is very much me getting out a tiny little fucking violin for myself here, but I look at Colosseum as a game mode and I'm like, I can't make content on this. Like, how am I supposed to put anything valuable about Conquest out? Sure, I can give general guide. Sure, I can give general overview. This is what Colosseum is. But I can't really go in and say, hey, this is how you beat Colosseum to the best of your abilities, because it's gonna be different for everybody based on their error level. It's gonna change constantly when new marquees come in, and it doesn't feel like I've got enough leverage to go on to make a meaningful difference in Colosseum to do good content. I'm like, that's really annoying for me personally, but I know that's me with a tiny violin being like, I can't do content.
But it's actually like 100% correct, though. It's like the until we get loaned units at a minimum, and there's some form of modding inside the event, there is no strategy. There is, do you get good RNG? That is like, it is the worst component of the game that we've ever come across, which is like, do you win on RNG and how much good RNG you get? And that's just an absolute crappy way to play any game. And so it's like, it'll get better with other features, but you're making me slog through another 10 weeks of this. Now, granted, I understand It'll be better when we have IG and we have a second character that'll help our scores improve. It'll help us do a little bit more damage to improve our scores. And as more characters come, since they have all the tags, they have all the same things, it'll be better. There'll be some flexibility. We will have probably by week, not more week, but like Marquee 4, we should actually have an interesting, which leader do we use? Which do we use? There will be a strategy at some point, but it just sucks that you got to slog through so much time in between the 2 points of just like, I don't hate the era system. I hate that we're getting it half baked. That's part of my issue. And even half baked is relative. I feel like the dough here is still runny. We don't even have a crust on the outside yet. It's kind of where I feel like
really
things are at.
Running with that baking analogy.
Yeah, no. Wife has spent too much time this weekend watching the Great British Baking Show, so now I'm kind of stuck in it. But yeah, no, I'm just stuck on this thing of like, I just don't like that feeling of well, we're serving you bread soup and we're hoping for the best. And I'm like, I'd prefer a full loaf actually cooked with a nice crispy outside crust. And
I would be happy with little rolls. We don't need a whole loaf. Give us one really nice little roll if we're running with this fucking bakery analogy. Give me one part that's really good. Like, and the amount of bugs as well has just been crazy. The amount of bugs that we've had with this new update, not just with Colosseum, because, we've had massive game hitches in people using anything but the PC client. The PC client does get game hitches in certain matchups in particular. The lag does happen. Anything that's got like loads of shit going on, like any Hondo mirror matches, you can see a bit of hitching on the PC client. But on the mobile app, apparently, or the cellular cell phone app, apparently it's really fucking bad. Right? Like I never play on the phone, so...
I haven't had a single issue on BlueStacks or my mobile device in any of the...
Hold up, you use BlueStacks?
On the PC, yeah, because I have the main account on the web, but the other one has to be BlueStacks because you can't run 2 instances of the...
I know. I genuinely just log out of the app because I would rather log out of the app and re-log in than run BlueStacks. That's how much I hate it.
The only time I would give a care, it really would come down to GAC is running them in that way. Otherwise, just fanning through characters, tweaking mods, deploying in TB. I don't really care if it takes an extra 30 seconds to run it. I just like doing both events at the same time, because what ends up happening if I run it in one account and I don't run it at this other account at the same time, my brain goes, "You've done the task. Don't worry about it."
Fair enough.
It's like, and then I go to the other one. I'm like, oh, I didn't finish those events, and those events have good rewards, and I missed them because I was like, yeah, I totally did them already, and so I have to.
I feel you. Yeah, I've probably done that sort of thing myself in the past, in the future, today. In fact, I've definitely done that. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping the game mode continues to improve over time, and I have confidence that it will. It's just there's just so many little snags that have gone with this update that I feel like could have been handled a bit better if we'd have had some communication, and they've done a lot of communication. They have. I don't want to play down what they've done, but stuff particularly around the leveling system, I think really should have been addressed very transparently, because like in the UK, something like that would get called up by trading standards as being like misleading to the consumer. Not explaining to the customer in no uncertain terms how leveling systems work, how you acquire these things, and then saying, oh yeah, well, in game you would think that the only way you could level up your characters realistically is by spending money, because there's no other way to do it. Like in the UK, I can see there being grounds there for that being unfair to the customer, because there are laws in the UK around that sort of thing. It's literally called consumer duty. But what do I know? It just feels kind of. It feels kind of. I don't want to say the word predatory. I don't think predatory is the right thing. I think it's just. it's kind of like they're playing dumb. They're like, no, you can definitely do it. We knew you could do it. We told you could do it. But what do you mean we made it look like you can't?
Well,
And that irritates me.
Honest. Well, yeah. Honestly, that's the biggest issue that we've run into time and time again over this entire era system is just the sort of lack of communication with everything that we're expecting to see, and we're data mining. We're sussing out information over the course of time as you know, questions get answered or whatever else takes place, and it just makes it very unfortunate because again, it feels bad. You're not getting anything productive done. It feels like you're going to be behind. You have to spend the money. You don't progress quickly enough to where you feel like you're moving forward and you feel like I want to get further ahead. Like, I'll tell you what, in my alt shard, I haven't spent since day one.
Okay.
I can tell you that the top 12 of my shard right now, outside of the top 3, which are actually like they full blown went to 75.
Yeah.
Everybody else has just spent enough to stay in the top 10. That's all they've done. It's era level 50, 55, 60, and 65. Just people just pushing it far enough to get to just far enough that they can get ahead of that.
Spending as least as they can to stay in that top bracket.
To stay in there. But that's the thing. It's like, I feel like that was the driving force of the first two or three marquees. Is to hold back resources enough to get you to just micro spend the way there, because the era packages are small enough to where, like, you know, $5 doesn't seem like a lot until you have to do it 4 times, and then it's $20. It's like, well, at that point you get more value out of the episode pass or the conquest pass than you're ever going to get out of what this is going to bring you long term. And so it's just this unfortunate dichotomy they've set up to where it's like it's like, you know, they're giving you poison but not hiding the fact that it tastes like shit. Like, it's like, hey man, I'm gonna just spit this out. Like, this is not gonna go down well. And there's like, no, trust me. At the center, it's gooey chocolate, and you'll love it. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. So if I was to look at mine, if I look at 30, so not even the guy that's trying to stay in the top 10, even 30th is only error level 27. And this is the thing. One of the things that annoys me is he's error level 27 and 4-star, and I'm error level 24 but 7-star, and I can barely stay in like top 60 now in my shard, and he's like 30. He's like, fuck. Yeah. he's 3 error levels higher, and I'm 3 stars higher.
Well, because the cutoff, I think somewhere in the roar of the crowd stuff is in the 25s. And so once you breach 25, you jump quite a bit drastically.
Well, exactly. I mean, I could drop £6 right now. £6 is what I would need, and I could take my Luke up to like
that extra. What does top 30 get you? Is it 250 or
it goes from 300 to 500. So
to be inside our top 30. Okay.
Yeah, if you're inside a top 30, you get 500 error currency. If you're top 30 to top 60, it's 300. So, you know, it's nearly doubling the amount you get, which is significant, but it's like it's more the principle of the matter. It's more like $6 is not a lot, but I don't feel like I should have to pay it. I think that's the issue that I'm standing on right now. But
I think a 7-star unlock should be getting you an increased. They should be front loading the rewards for error levels a little bit for a 7-star unlock. Like, we'll get level 65 for free by the time the event ends. I fully understand that, but having to wait 10 weeks to get there is the biggest like donkey dick kick to the nuts that you can get in there. Like, I don't understand why they want to like hold you back that far. It's like, oh, well, just don't worry about Relic 10 then. I was like, yeah, but it's either I worry about it or I don't. Like, I feel like there almost has to be a thing where like, let's create shards based on age. So it's like players that are been playing for like 5+ years aren't getting paired with these new whales that are just willing to throw money at the wall and whatever happens.
That's
where I feel like we're at.
Like, I know I've said it before, but I do feel like there should be a little bit more incentive in whaling for marquee shards that is not so backloaded in terms of Colosseum progression, because like if you get like Vader and Inquisitor Barriss to 5 stars, you get some really high value, like high level rewards. Like the only way you can essentially get to 70 on your characters is to do that, right? Is to whale on those last ones. But in the run up, like the stars beyond star 5 gives you basically nothing extra, and it's like you're dropping quite a bit of real world money in order to do that, to get those characters up there. But I know that CG, they've made a very deliberate effort here to make sure that stars and that money is not supposed to give you any sort of advantage in Colosseum, outside of the fact that if you want to go beyond 65, you need the stars, right? And you know, it's kind of a later on sort of thing. But
well, which is why I feel like they didn't design. I feel like that's why they capped out air level with a 95 at Relic 6, right? Because that's a 6-star unlock, right? Or is that 7-star?
No, so error level 65 is the cap for 3 stars.
No. I'm just saying for the relic lock at the end of it.
Oh right, yeah.
Is what is 6-star? Is 6-star Relic 5 and then 7 stars Relic 6? Is that what the?
No. Oh, hang on. You can go to 85 at 6 stars. I can't remember what 85 translates to. Let me have a look.
Well, that's Relic 2 or 3.
85 is Relic 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that they regated the how high you can go.
Mm-hmm.
With stars versus relic levels. Is Relic 6
it's level 95.
Well, no. I'm different question.
Mm-hmm.
Relic 6, does that require 7 stars, or does Relic 6 and Relic 6 is 5 stars?
No. So
Relic 6 is 6 stars. Relic 4 is 5 stars. Relic 3 is 4 stars. Relic.
No. It's just tied to the. It's tied. Your error level is tied to the stars.
No.
Right?
No. I'm not asking about error levels.
Oh right. Okay. So we're definitely getting confused here.
Yeah. No. I'm specifically asking. They changed what star levels were needed for relic progression.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So
Relic 6 can go to 5 stars. 6 stars can go to Relic 5 now.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're saying is that Relic 5 to Relic 6 is what's going to require the 7 stars, whichever that error level translates to. Mm-hmm. Which is the Zurich material that you need to get there. That's what's locking that out. I'm just trying to pace out where they did that divide. But that's why they did the divide there, is because anything beyond, 6 stars Relic 5, you can't effectively unlock in the game. I'm reverse engineering why they put the limits at what they did. That's all I'm saying. It's
just weird because like you can get to like at the equivalent of 6 stars, you can get to Relic 2 in the error level conversion, but really 6 stars you should be able to go to Relic 5, which would be error level 94. That's where it gets a little bit weird. Like it could go higher is what I'm saying, but the way they've scaled it, it's very top heavy scaling. So that's because that's where all the money is, right? It's like the later error levels are where all the cash is.
You cannot get past error level 71. You can't get to error level 71 without spending. Like full stop. You cannot get those materials in any event that we know of right now. It requires physical cash to get beyond error level 70. And that's why I'm saying when it comes to the mall event, if Spooter Mall cannot be done at error level 70, I think CG's made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because
agreed.
I get that you can still have the 7-star lockout even though people are higher error levels.
Yeah.
But like just have a 7-star lockout, just require it. But if it's beyond error level 70, and you're forcing people to spend another 45-ish bucks, $50 to just to unlock the character. It feels very insulting on top of already having spent to unlock those marquees at 7-star.
Yeah.
You're not
I mean,
making the same progress you would have made
you're
prior
looking
to that.
$130 to $150 per character. There's 6 characters required for a 7-star mall, right? So, you're looking at $800 to $900, and then you're saying, that's not enough though. You got to kick us an extra 100. Like, so what?
Yeah, honest to God, man, I'm a little perplexed as to what the idea is.
Well, CG has never been like this sort of on the nose when it comes to spending money in this game. They've always been pretty accessible when it comes from a free-to-play perspective. Don't get me wrong, you could always whale, and whales could always get a significant advantage in this game. But on the whole, it was always relatively accessible to be like, yeah, a free-to-play person can still compete. A free-to-play person can still choose not to like do a bunch of crystal refreshes, sacrifice their cantina refreshes, and in a 3-month period, maybe they'll be ready. Like what Calvin did to make sure he got Jar Jar unlocked day 1. He saved up like 40,000 crystals by not doing any refreshes for months and months and months when it was announced, just so he could get Jar Jar unlocked immediately day 1. And you could do that. You could make that sacrifice, right? But now it's like it's been taken completely off the table. And I don't feel like they've ever done that before. Maybe they have, but it doesn't feel like they've done that in my time playing Galaxy of Heroes since like mid 2018.
I mean, it has throwback vibes to the early epic confrontations. Malik really screams out to me as one of those.
Yeah, it was like because I was a guy that got DR on my main account. I got DR like completely free to play the first time he came around, and then Malik came out like 2 weeks after DR came out, and I was like, I can't. Like,
he came the weekend after the event ended.
Yeah, and he was around for 2 days.
Yeah, it was 3, but yeah, minor points.
And he was also the first legendary event. It was the first epic confrontation, wasn't it? And it was the first one to have arbitrary GP locks.
Yeah, well, yeah, like GP floors. Locks floors to gain access, which I mean you could do with good mods or a Zeta. You didn't really have to do them necessarily.
I think the minimum was like gear. You had to be gear 11 with a Zeta.
Was gear 11 with a Zeta, I think it was the minimum. But to actually do the event without like god tier RNG, like gear 12 was kind of like gear 12.
I remember being very annoyed at that.
Zalbar wanted a good amount of the gear pieces. Everyone else could kind of get away with whatever else.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I understand. I still feel like that's different to actually making sure you need cash, because technically speaking, if your reserves were big enough, if you had enough crystals, a free-to-play player could still do that, right? They could, theoretically, if they had all the crystals in the world, do it. But this time, it doesn't matter how many crystals you've got. No number of crystals is going to change if you would need to drop money to go to 75. Like, no matter what, you can't do it. You're just going to have to suck it up and wait. And that just kind of sucks. Just kind of sucks. Well, so I'm really hoping they don't do that, basically.
I'm just... the old epic competitions were kind of the closest you could get to that, just because of that. Yeah. They were so short notice. They were so investment heavy that there wasn't really a good way to get there unless you just happened to have Bazooka crystals hanging around, which was not a very common, No,
especially not for most free-to-play people. Like that, I remember the most I've ever had on my account was about 40k crystals, and that was when GL Ray came out, and I was like hoarding for crystals to try and get GL Ray as quickly as possible, and I blew all of it trying to get the last requirements the day she dropped. So, like, I don't think it was very common back then for people to have hordes and hordes.
You have a few people back before the GAC and everything else. It was more common to have players with larger hordes because you only ever spent in a meaningful capacity on stuff that was going to be meta changing or required for a new event, and you wanted to be on top of it as quickly as you could. And that was kind of like the only time you really needed to go buck wild on it. Everything else was really skippable. There was just very little that was like full blown, like, oh my God, you know, you have to have it. You have to do this. You have to do that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, this is the first time that we've seen where it's straight up. If you don't put cash down, you could miss out on stuff and things.
Yeah.
Which is it's not a good approach for CG to take. I think it's going to be very disincentivizing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Relic 10s have kind of worked like that a little bit too. For the Colosseum thing, it's like, you know, I know we don't really know how many people are in our shards. There's a lot of theorizing back and forth around where it is. It says, you know, when you look at the reward structure, it says that it can go over 1,000. I don't actually think that there's that many over 1,000 in any individual shard, because, you know,
there's got to be a ratio of active players to dead accounts, because they can't filter out the inactive accounts in case the off chance that the player picks up the, like, you know, I've got an account on a device here that I haven't played in like 6 months, but I might come back and play it, and it's just like, okay, well, you can't filter those out if they ever decide to come back and do something with it. So there's got to be a ratio that they have, so that people who are active are collectively close towards the top. But yeah, I don't know if we're actually going to see whatever makes up the depth on those.
Yeah. And so the bottom end of those rewards is like 10 error currency, like a day. But I think most people are like, my alt account, which has spent no money on it, is managing to stay in that 91 to 250 bracket. So it's getting 100 error currency a day. But 100 error currency a day is still a long time to get your first Relic 10. Like, that's going to take you like probably closer to a year before you earn enough mats for one Relic 10. And that's, you know, that's kind of shit. So I fully expect there to be more ways for us to earn.
That was kind of the nice part of the era challenge. I mean, nice part is relative, but it was an additional like 2,500 error currency, which is, you know, that's a nice little boost for people who are at least getting that thing to level 75.
Did you get that? I did. Oh, nice.
So the era challenge gives you about 2,500 extra era currency if you are able to max it at 75. Which, granted, I think you can do it at like, with good RNG, I think you can do the last tier at 70, but it's like you need god tier RNG to get through it.
Fair enough.
And it depends on, in the future, if they let us use more than just the one character, then you could maybe get away with a little bit different tactics. But it's a nice little boost to reward people who spend, because then you don't have to worry about being top in the shard very much. But like, again, everything that they've done with this era, and it just kind of keeps kicking. It's the point that I just don't really love. It's an exponential curve that's all weighted to the back end of what's going on here. So
definitely.
It's just like, this is like, all right, do you want me to engage in this or not? Because it's like, you know, unfortunately, you have to parrot some of the talking points of other people that I wouldn't normally agree with. But, you know, yeah, this feels like a basically just shut up and forget about it kind of content cycle. It's just like, well, you know, I can think about the characters I want to use and how I want to use them. I mean, I've got theory crafted teams of what I want to do with the new marquees. Some of them are pretty prescriptive. You can't really fluctuate from there. Other ones there are options. But you know, you can't really change or do anything about it for 12 weeks. So it's like, what do you want me to do about it? It's just like, I can't use them. I can't do anything. So I guess I'll just go back to playing the other game and forget that this content is existing. And then, when we get this content in February, I'll be really excited for all the new stuff that comes in the new era in February. And then I'm going to forget about it until May.
It's like it comes in waves, doesn't it? It's not like a gradual drip feed of new characters. It's kind of a wave and a crash. It's like we've got crap loads of new marquees, and then you don't use them for 3 months, so there's absolutely nothing to do, and then they all drop into your legacy roster again, and boom, there you go. Go ahead and mod 6 characters, maybe a journey guide event character as well. You know, gear them up, relic them up, figure out how to actually use them in their prescribed teams, which is weird.
Yeah, dude. To be honest, the only thing I'm really fussed at with CG on the Stormtrooper Luke kit is that that all of the prompts for Princess Leia also require Stormtrooper Han being present.
Right.
That annoys me so much. I'm just like,
because it limits
really?
It limits theory crafting quite a bit, right?
Well, it does, but you can put them all on the same team under like a GL Leia, but the problem is, and then you've got to drop somebody, and unfortunately, it's
you can't drop R2 or Drogon. Really, it would have to be R2.
I've dropped Drogon quite a bit. I used a Drogonless Leia to beat Ahsoka all last GAC. Nice. It's not, well, I used the Rogue One cron, so I had lots of other perks going on with it. They kind of lifted the damage up high enough to deal with it. Actually, I found better to put Chupio in the mix with R2 and then Adrad and Jin, and then just let it ride. And you know, because it's just, you just got to get to enough capture to, you can just, you know, blow people off the board with whatever you've got. And so it was survivable. You could technically drop Drogon and do the team, but then I feel like unless you get really good cron support, I don't think Princess Leia is going to be picking up the slack. Like she'd be funny. It would be cool to do the team, but man alive, I just don't think it's going to be hitting hard enough. She's made of paper to begin with. The speed's a little bit better. The having the 100% is great, but it was kind of funny as I wish that they had given Stormtrooper Han a little touch up to reflect the interaction with Stormtrooper Luke a little bit more, because the 100% guarantee also, you know, qualifies for his basic granting turn meter to himself. So his 2 turns of 100% guaranteed chance effects is diminished by the fact that if he gets called to assist ever, you know, which Luke is going to do, he's just going to gain too much turn meter. He's going to lock out of it. I kind of wish that he had like a Thrawn does with a fracture. It's like if you use a special and Thrawn's present and
it reduces his turn meter.
It reduces his turn meter. And so I'm like, I kind of wish they had, you know, done something to be used outside of the one kit they designed it for, which is, you know, the OG team they want to put together with it, which is, you know, that's fine. Everything doesn't have to be end game, but I was a little just saddened to see it that way.
Yeah. I'm hoping that there'll be some way to use them outside of 3v3 when they come to the game, but who knows? Time will tell, because, you know, I'm still gonna 7-star characters, and, you know, unless CG really rug pulls with the journey guide units, and then maybe I might reevaluate. But I'm still gonna do that, so I'm still hopeful, because like my default has always been, like, for the last, I don't know, 6 months, is that every new marquee I'll just unlock and I'll take them to Relic 8, because I feel like when you're at Relic 8, you are in a good position for pretty much any character. You could take them to Relic 9 if you really wanted to, and they, you know, but you don't necessarily have to, right? Like, they're in a good staging position if they happen to be long term. And you know, if I can't use Stormtrooper Luke anywhere meaningful, it feels like a waste. It's like, I mean, I suppose we're still going to have era battles at the end of this era. That's going to be a lot of Relic 8/Relic 9s. I hope you don't have to do the whole lot to finish the top tier of the new era battle when that comes out.
Well, yeah, it depends on what they do for it, really, to be honest with you.
I can imagine it being a few.
I could imagine at least at least needing to be 4. That would keep in line with the Clone Trooper release and the Pirate release and stuff like that, where they had similar metrics to be able to finish it. And at the time, if you want to do it on the first pass. Now that we got Hondo and Maz out, it's way easier to get through it. But beside the point, we have 7 characters for this era, so depending on who they require for the era challenge, you might be able to sneak around with them.
Yeah, I imagine Maul won't be needed, but probably maybe Maul. Yeah, they might do an extra tier for Maul, like they did with the Jedi Master Mace Windu one. There might be a Relic 9 Maul tier for 2,000 crystals, right? They might do that. Might be. Or maybe Maul just makes it a lot easier if you take Maul in. Maybe you don't need to take in 4 Relic 9s. You could do it with 2 or 3 or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
Possibly. There's a lot of options. We're still stuck in this massive pit of unknown, and I'm not happy about it. I don't like being in the dark. I don't like not knowing what to expect. So I'm a little frustrated by the overall on it. I want to know more. I want to know how it's supposed to work. I want to know what I need to do, because like you said, if the success is not going to be great without heavy whaling, or there's no really need to push beyond a certain error level because the reward at the end of it isn't worth what you're putting into it for cost, then I don't see myself spending on that. Yeah, I'll eat it in the shorts on the leaderboard, but at the same time, hey, guess what I'll just do? I'll just buy that pack when it comes out and call it a day, because I'd rather spend my money there than 3 times that amount every 2 weeks on getting these characters to error level 70 day one. I feel like that's an absolutely asinine use of resources.
I had no plans on buying that new relic pack that gives you, essentially, if you buy it twice, right, you'll get 20 servo motors, as well as, a significant amount of other materials, realistically speaking. You're getting 30 Gerda keypads, you're getting 20 droid brains, 40 aero mags, 40 impulse detectors, 20 corrupted signal data. It gives you good stuff. It's just very, very expensive. I had no plans on doing that, but then my guild mandated a Relic 10, and I owe my community a Relic 10. So I'm gonna have to buy 2 of those packs, which I didn't.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. I really didn't plan on doing that, because I've deliberately not whaled on the character, so I'm only earning usually 300 error currency a day. So I've only got 4,420 error currency right now, which, as you know, is not enough to get myself a Relic 10 just yet. So I'm going to have to buy those packs, and that's going to be painful. But there we go. Such is life. I just read we've come up to 1 hour and 10 minutes. Should we take a look at Tribe Talks questions?
We should. We'll probably circle back into a lot of the same talking points.
Probably.
But
oh my God, there's so many questions. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. So somebody's talking about a cheetah. I'll have to message them separately. Or have you already reported that one?
We already reported it. They're done.
Okay, cool. Good. Get rid of that
I
one
think
then.
it's only set for like the last couple of... I'll have to go back and pull it up real quick and see.
Oh, I've just deleted it, so...
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Starting on the 25th.
Yeah, okay. So the first question comes from Trusty. He says, isn't it basically the case that once you push Luke to level X, I don't know if he means level 10 or level X, you'll automatically have so many extra resources that the next characters will pretty much cost the same as Luke, since you've already spent the materials you're about to get back anyway? I mean, you're closer to the whaling side of things. All I know is that there's going to be an element of lost resources, because yes, you could spend it. Say you got Luke to level 15 or level 25, right? When IG-90 comes out in a couple of days, he'll basically come with enough resources to go to level 15, and then when we get Asajj, it'll go to level 25. So yes, you could theoretically use those resources that you earn to put on new characters, but it diminishes in value every time a new character comes out. And when it gets to the end, you're going to be gaining everything from 0 to 65 on all of those characters, and the overflow of those resources are going to convert into credits at the end, which is basically, I mean, it's worthless, right? You're just getting credits. like standard credits.
Hashtag sign the petition for shipbuilding materials.
I would definitely prefer it to go to ship, but CG, they'll be like, for each mat you get half a shipbuilding credit.
Yeah.
You'll end it, and they'll
ship
give you, here's
conversion.
2,200 ship building credits.
Yeah, I just crossed over 1 billion credits. I can't spend them fast enough on my accounts. I really can't.
Go into the mod store and just refresh the fuck out of the mod store and buy everything with 5 speed incessantly.
Yeah, but the problem is it has to land on credits, and that's half the problem.
Yeah.
It's like it's always shipbuilding
It's true.
materials, and I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Ever since they've added in the error currency for it, not error currency, episode currency for the mods,
Yeah.
it feels like
Yeah.
the likelihood of getting a mod for standard credits has bottomed out. Like, it's almost never normal credits. It's painful, but I feel you. Yeah. What's your thoughts on this, Karth? I don't think it's necessarily a case of that money tides you over indefinitely. I think
So I can't reasonably answer this question this week. It was some of those things where you should ask again next week, because I can tell you how far I'll be able to get IG 90 on this particular go of things without having to invest anything, and that'll tell you to a degree what that turnaround is going to be. But that's about all I can say, is that you will get something back out of it. But the problem is like the system's not really designed well enough to tell you how well you're going to be able to churn and burn those resources, because you're getting more through the marquee event as time progresses. So the more you front load, starts to see diminishing returns as you kind of meet that middle point, and then it's how much did you waste as you go down each particular one. And so that's kind of the issue I'm running into on a lot of them, is that you just kind of end up with a lot of wasted materials if you over invest. You kind of have to thread that needle very carefully. And that's what I'm concerned about as somebody who does spend. Is just like, where does that screw me the most?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately that answer just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Is that I just feel like the more you invest at the beginning, the less you get rewarded at the end.
Yeah,
you kind of get, and then you're still stuck at the end of the day with useless materials that don't convert to anything else useful.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing to do with it. So at this junction, if the era system stays the same and you're not hard pressed for the Relic 10 materials, it would be invest whatever keeps you at a level that you're comfortable with. If you want to say stop top 30, so you got to like invest like era level 30 to do that, or whatever else that you want to stay at that appropriate level for, then stop there and then just quit caring about it till the end of the era, because those materials are going to be there till the end of the era. You can get to level 65 for free, and then make the necessary jump from 65 to as high as you can go. And this is under the preclusion that you are getting 7-star characters, because without those Zurich materials, you're screwed outside of that too. So there's a couple of different things that you can fight on it, but the short answer is that I don't feel like you're going to get enough reimbursement moving forward. It's always going to be conveniently just enough not left over to where you're going to have to keep buying packs. But that's just how I feel about it. I'm in a little cynical place about the whole era materials. So
me too. I'm very cynical, but there we go. Thank you, Trusty. God Emperor asks, did Galactic War till the final node, bought a Lightspeed bundle and was able to finish the last node. Does it mean I can now next day refresh and not have to do battles anymore to auto-finish? I believe now when you beat Galactic War one time, you can sim it going forward. I think it's changed from when I did it. So I think you should be good. But you also asked that question 4 days ago, so you probably have that answer. Either way, thank you, God Emperor. I appreciate the question. Bubba Joe asks, greetings, Council of Scribe. We are thankful for your tutelage. Don't be thankful just yet, Bubba Joe. We are just about done with the first Rote post-Relic Delta. Did you notice much of a difference with Relic Delta engaged? No.
No, not a damn thing.
Where I would notice it the most would be phase 1, and I don't do phase 1. I do 1 SM on auto, walk away, and then I deploy. The rest of it is like, I don't notice anything.
The one SM that I did, I did watch the first one. Yeah, it went by way faster, but that was about the only noticeable difference on the entire thing. Everything else was kind of like, whatever, who really cares? There are some planets where, yeah, I think when you're talking about saving,
Eagle Rare is sexy.
Saw it on the camera, nice and close.
Mm.
When you're talking about saving 20 seconds in a CM, it's really not noticeable. Big picture, every team that I'm using right now is winning handedly beforehand, so
And
it's
still
hard for
does
me
so.
to. Now it's just a little faster. That's all I've got.
I
But the
tell
only
you what
battles I
makes
paid attention to were the R9s, and it's R9 versus R9, so there's no difference.
Yeah, and I would tell you what makes a hell of a lot bigger of a difference in TB battles compared to Relic Delta is TB Omicrons. Now, I do not endorse TB Omicrons. However, when it gets to a point that you've got crap loads of Omicrons and you've done all the good TW and GAC ones, I was like, fuck it, and I did like 3 TB Omicrons. I did Marox, I did there was somebody else's that I did, and I can't remember who it was. And it made it like that makes much more of a difference than Relic Delta ever could. Like if you get some good TB armies, like that, they really do make a difference.
Yeah, Marok is huge because even with it just him, since he assists all the time, that bonus damage is just will let Balin do a lot of great things.
I didn't even read it. I didn't even read it. I just know it was good, and I applied it. And I don't understand what he's actually doing because I still haven't read it. But it feels like turn 1, nothing happens. And then turn 2, it's like nuclear bombs drop. It's like, oh, nothing happens. Turn 2, somebody calls to assist. Oh, Marok is hitting for 400 million damage. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with they deal additional true damage.
Yeah.
And so when he uses the basic out of turn, he just like hits for 500,000 damage and one shots bitches.
It's kind of crazy. It is definitely kind of crazy. So I had some fun with that. I definitely did that, and I did. Oh, that was it. I did Jedi Cal's leadership, and that also makes a big difference. I was just bored. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do Jedi Cal's leadership. So had some fun with that. But overall, Relic Delta, I see no meaningful difference, and I have got a decent. I've got like 60 Relic 9s or something. Karth has only got 2 or 3, so he wouldn't really know.
I officially on my main account have more Relic 9s than Relic 8s.
God damn. And Karth doesn't have a small number of Relic 8s, okay?
Let's see. I just pulled up that compare earlier today. So I have 151 Relic 9s, 135 Jesus. Relic 8s, and 19 Relic 7s.
My God.
Technically, I have more Relic 9s than I have everything else in my roster at this point. Almost half my roster.
The only silver lining I can get from that is I've got more Relic 7s than you. Get fucked, Karth.
Yeah, you got 80 to my 19. Yeah, you're not in a bad spot.
No, I don't feel bad about my account at all. I have plenty of fun.
No, yeah, you're in a plenty good spot. It's just like literally in the last 2 weeks I've done 21 Relic. No, more than that. 23 Relic 9s.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild for a short amount of time.
Well, I had a lot hoarded, and then they had a lot of packs that came out, and then once I saw that there was no reason to hold on to gear except for enough to gear the Stranger, I zeroed out all my gear at the same time. But yeah, I just did, because I did a few during mid TB. I did like Eighth Brother and where the hell did I put these things? It was Eighth Brother and a couple other people, but then like before that, it was just a bunch of like bringing things up, like Cal Kestis and Seer and everything else. Just moving a lot of my counters into that range of Relic Delta 1 or less or equal footing kind of mentality. So that's where I was at with those, but then it's just like, it's just where do things come into being a problem for me? And so Jesus Christ, I'm trying to think through too many things. Like bringing Afra to Relic 9 and the 2 droids and a couple other things. Just
okay.
random other things that need to come up. Well, I'm like, part of what I want to do is have all the new teams when they come online, have them at Relic 9 ready to go.
All 6 new teams, Relic 9.
Well, I have most of them halfway there, right? Like the only team that had like 0 investment into Relic 9 was Afra.
Yeah.
So, it's like,
but you probably had them at Relic 8.
Yeah, I had them at Relic 8, so it wasn't a huge. It wasn't like it was crazy.
I took them to Relic 7 recently, actually.
So it wasn't wild to go beyond that particular. Yeah, so I did Seer, Cal, Eighth Brother, EP, and Mara when I did the R10s.
Fair.
And then prior to that, I did a whole slew of just random ones for the sake of it. But it's just trying to get them ready to go. I want them to have, for testing purposes, is really what I'm doing. Is I want them to be testing at a Relic Delta net neutral. I don't want to be testing at Relic Delta 2 and see, oh, this counter sucks. What? It's crap. It doesn't do anything. It's like, no, I'd rather have a better handle on what's.
Listen, Karth, you just like Relic 9 teams. There's nothing wrong with that. Embrace it. Okay?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
It's fine. It's fine.
So we'll see what shakes loose when they get here, but that's part of what I'm pushing for, is just to get those ones done. And then from there we'll see what comes next. Because the new Boba Fett team, I already had Zuckuss and I'm at Relic 9, and
I've got those at Relic 9 too, just for the era battle. So I'm like, hell yes, give me some Dead Boba action.
Yeah, I was planning on doing the new Marquis to Relic 9 anyway, because there's probably going to be an era battle, right? So it's like there's just going to be enough.
Yeah, there is that, but I'm really hoping it's not 6. Anyway, we're completely off track from the question. Next question. Squirrel. Next question comes from Kitch. Did Scribe enjoy the rugby? No, Kitch, I did not. But I did enjoy getting recognized in public for my YouTube work. All right? So we might have lost 72-0, but a stranger came up to me and said he recognizes me as Scribe from Scribe Gaming, and he shook my hand, and it made my day. So fuck you, Kitch. Love you, buddy.
Need to reload here.
Next up, I've been casually reloading all night.
I poured a very heavy one the first time.
Oh, okay. No, I've been gently caressing the glass. Richie Fritch asks, are we sure we can unlock Maul at 7 stars with just Gear 12 tunes? Will it also be gated by error levels like error challenges? Well, we spent a good amount of today's Tribe Talks talking about that very discussion point. We don't know. Everything points to it's probably going to be error locked. Because the announcement post said that 4-star unlock needs error level 45, right? So if we are very lucky, 7-star will just need 65 to 70. If we are unlucky, it's going to need more.
I want to assume that it's 70.
I want to hope that it's 70.
But I would not be surprised if it was beyond that. I know if it's beyond 70, I'm going to be very testy with them. Not that I can't, that it's going to impact my ability to get it. Just the fact that it's a big slap in the face to the more moderate spenders, because it's just like, hey, bitch, extra $200 or just nope. And it's like, if that's the case, you're just gonna watch people go, no, I'm good. I'll wait 6 months.
Yeah.
If only like 2,000 people are going to have Spooder Mall, then who gives a care?
Mm-hmm. Next question comes from Mr. Chase PhD. He obviously watches House. Do you think we're going to get another Hear Me Out post from CG about Colosseum, like the post explaining Relic Deltas and their purpose? We know that CG are working on a Q&A to address some of the more pertinent questions, but
my issue is, does it get here in a meaningful time frame? That's my bigger concern.
Well, they've got to be back next week, haven't they?
Well, they are, but I mean, it doesn't.
They've got a 2-week window to kick it out.
Exactly. They got a very narrow window to do it, and as fast as they've been with other things, I just don't know if it's going to get out in a meaningful time frame, or like by the time we get the news, it's going to be like, well, duh, every content creator already told us all this stuff. So what do we need this for? It's just like, well, I won't argue the point that it should have been here before, but that's whatever.
Yeah. So I think so, Chase. I think we are going to get some sort of question. Grogu asks, do you think, ignoring possible conquest feats, there is any reason to push for a sub 7-star Maul, 4, 5, or 6 stars? Not really. Not beyond conquest feats. I don't think so, unless there's something that they bring out in the future. Maybe there's something in Era Challenges. Who knows? I doubt it. But realistically, even if you've got, let's say you've got a 6-star Maul, right? You've got a 6-star Maul. Even if you took him to Relic 5, realistically, I don't see him being that impactful that you can actually use him to a meaningful degree. Maybe you can if you have Stranger unlocked and the full Star Killer support and all that at high relics, and he's just there as a utility support with a good datachron. Maybe. But I don't think so. What do you reckon, Garth?
Well, with the new relic improvements, being able to get to relic 5 on the character, it's a possibility because stat-wise they're not going to be like terrible. I think it just depends on where you are in the leaderboard. I think you're going to find more use for him in lower Kyber 2, 3, and below than you are with people who are going to have the 7-star. If you're fighting people who have the 7 stars, this team is any kind of meaningfully good on defense or is strictly going to be offensively rated, it's going to come down to, are you matching with people with 7 stars or people who are having to underman with something else? Because I think the viability will still be there for the team. I just don't think that like you can fight apples to apples on it. Like if you're going to be lower in Kyber 2, you'll probably have a better chance of utilizing the character. But outside of that, I think that if you're in a top competitive environment, there's no reason to push for it. If you're not going to have a 7-star unlock, you're better off just waiting, unless the team just happens to obliterate everything and
has mechanics that ignores Relic Delta. Let's be real, because if you're stuck with a 5-star Maul and you're facing something that's Relic 8 or Relic 9, it's like you're about to get destroyed by the second AoE that hits you. Unless it's something like Malicos, and then it's the first AoE that hits you. It could get pretty. So yeah, I don't know. I find it hard. Maybe is the only answer I can give on that one, Grogu, I guess. Smasher Bob asks, does anyone know what CG were thinking with this Era Challenge? It's useless for free to play, and how do we trust the bros to do what they say they would? Era Challenges, like, I'll be honest, dude. Era Challenges feels like it's a tier of the marquee event that's just gated by error level in terms of can you beat it. And I don't know anybody who plays a marquee battle for the fun of playing the marquee battle.
To be honest, the era system, the entire thing, the Era Challenge, is designed to reward investment of previous things, right? So the Era Challenge is no longer like Galactic Challenges. It is just there as a way to reward investment. That's all it's there for. It's not designed to unlock anything else additional. It's not supposed to give us the track progress. It's not supposed to do anything like that. It's just additional reward for those who have invested. That's all it's there for. So the only people that I can understand were reasonably upset by this was because of the fact that you couldn't complete the quest associated with it on the first pass of things. You have to wait for the next one to come around, which I get is shitty, and I understand that they should change, but that's the only real it's not free to play friendly angle you can get me on, because that's been the case since Era Challenges decided to put 7-star unlocks as part of the requirements for getting all your progression. So is it stupid? Yeah. Does it need more to go with it? Sure. But it's just there to reward players that invested. That's all it's there for. So if you can look at it that way, it just goes, okay, one less event to give a shit about, which unfortunately seems to be a very common theme with the Era system.
So we don't normally answer questions directly from chat, but just because there's a question in chat right now that very much pertains to this, So Michael is saying that CG also suggested that error challenges were some sort of equivalent to GCs. It turns out not to be the case. It's not necessarily that they are the equivalent. So all of the benefits that we got from Galactic Challenges have been rolled into our daily objectives, which is why now our daily objectives reward us like twice as much as they used to. If you notice, the 7-star weekly objectives now award 11,000 episode points instead of, I want to say it was 8,000 before, and the dailies, instead of awarding 4,000 award instead of 2,000 award 5,000 episode points, and the ones on the episode pass instead of awarding 4,000 award like 7 or 8,000. Like they've massively increased those, and that's all that the Galactic Challenges really gave you in terms of rewards. Is they gave you a way to progress on your your episode pass. All of that experience now has been rolled into your daily objectives, which essentially means getting to episode level 50, on the episode pass is easier than it ever has been. You literally just have to turn up, do your daily objectives, you've done it, you're going to max out. It does mean it's a little bit slower, because we don't get these peaks and troughs for when you beat Galactic Challenges. You don't get this massive boost in episode points. But overall, we work out at getting something like 50 episode points extra a day, which translates to like 20 extra levels on top of the episode pass if you do everything every day. Now, the Error Challenges replace Galactic Challenges in so much as it is a recurring event that you can do, but it's about as deep as a puddle. That's the only problem I have with it. So yeah, it's is what it is. We're not, like, all I'm trying to say is we're not worse off in terms of rewards and progression because of error challenges. It's just not an inspiring game mode. So next question comes from Sith Master. Do we know if we get back the Mark II circuit breaker modules on the episode track? I've heard a lot about this, Garth. Have you noticed this? Like, when they put in I think it's the signal data, you know, they added extra signal data to the episode pass on the free pass. Now they've replaced Mark II thermals, which is like the most important 6E to 6A mod slicing material. We've lost like a hefty chunk of those, something stupid like 75 of those, which is a good amount of mod slicing mats. I don't think those are getting replaced, but if we scream loud enough about it, CG will put them back in somewhere.
I think the idea behind that was the increased cadency and rewards of Smuggler's Run. If they shifted materials to that.
You don't get any Mark IIs from those. We don't get them from that event. Smuggler's Run 1, 2, and 3 don't give us Mark IIs. They only give us stuff to get to 6 dots. They don't help us with the 6 dot plus, which is really frustrating.
Doesn't the deadly tier do that though?
It doesn't give the Mark II thermals. It gives like the first one. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what the name of it is. So it doesn't give the Mark II thermal exchange units. It gives maybe the circuit breaker modules. But one of them, this one over here, I'll send you a picture in our VC now, just so you know which one I'm talking about. This one doesn't exist in any of the Smuggler's Runs or anything like that. And it's used a heck of a lot. As you can see, I have 0 of them at the moment because I'm always slicing mods.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering why I was so stupid low on those things.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a good amount of sense. Yeah, that should be fixed. You shouldn't take away my rewards. If you're not going to put them somewhere else that I can equally get similar amounts or greater than, yeah, don't take away my shit. Really not anywhere in the stupid... I swear I saw it. Maybe I was just hallucinating because it looks similar to something else. I'm pretty sure
I thought they did, and then I put it on a video and said they did that, and then I had a bunch of people in my comment section saying, "Oh, those don't exist in Smuggler's Run 2 and 3."
You only got one ping of the Mark II thermals in the track.
Yeah. So somebody's saying we used to get 170 of them. That's a lot. Did we really used to? I can't remember.
Yeah, you used to get twice during the path, if I remember correctly.
That's wild. Yeah, they should really replace those because it's very, 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 very important. So yeah, I think they should replace them. We need to, maybe I'll do a video about it next week, and maybe we can get some traction going on that. But yes, thank you, Sith Master. Thank you. So Orion Moyer says, are tanks or lifter units better relic investments for Galactic Legends and Relic Delta offsets in Kyber 2? It's a very
well, the short
loaded
answer
question.
when it comes to it is that you should bring the floor up on your squads to within Relic Delta 2 of what you plan on fighting. So you're better off taking teams to Relic 7 if you're fighting Relic 9s, or Relic 6 you're fighting Relic 8s, and so on and so forth, to bring the squad up. Because like for a lot of people point out, like Bo-Katan, a lot of people love Relic 5 because she's just a stat stick with her unique. But if she dies, you're screwed to a degree. So bringing her from Relic 5 to Relic 7 gives her a lot more survivability in some of the teams that she's facing, and she'll live a little bit longer. But when you're looking at like taking advantage of specific Relic Delta stuff, it 100% comes down to every single counter you're trying to either use that team against or prevent with a team. You know, it's like, if you're going to go with like Ufus against anything, Alikos at Relic 9 is going to do really well if he's punching down at all, because he's just going to dunk on stuff.
Yeah.
You know, same
Big
for
AoE
Starkiller.
damage.
Just going to dunk on things with that particular setup. But if you're trying to prevent a specific counter, like let's say specifically that Bo-Katan you're using Bo-Katan versus Lord Vader, and you're trying to prevent Bo-Katan from working as Lord Vader, you would be incentivized to take your Lord Vader team, your Scorch and your Lord Vader to as high relics as possible that you can obtain, because the greater the relic delta, the longer it takes for them to get through, and then without the Rolocron, it's going to take even longer. They're likely going to time out on that particular team, and so it's like it's not going to be foolproof. But what you can do with your relic investments is try to thwart specific counters to either A, force your opponent into putting a lighter defense down so they can more overpoweredly take down your defensive board, or B, you just try to get drops out of it. And that's kind of the general gist of it when it comes to relics. It doesn't matter the particular role of the unit per se. You have to be more analytical on what are they using to try to counteract this particular team, and that will more likely get you a better answer as to where your relic should be going on a particular squad.
Good answer. It's a good answer. So next question comes from Richie Fritch. He says, do we think that CG sunk the ship? Do we need to swim to shore? Are we taking on water? What do you think, Garth? Do you think CG royally screwed the pooch? Are we dead? Is the game burning? Is it dying?
No, it's the best way to describe this for a lot of it is that we are a boat at sea. I'll use their analogy, sailing through a heavy fog, and we've been given the one thing in front of us. We see one thing. We don't see the complete picture. We don't see everything that's supposed to be a part of the system that they plan on adding and adapting to as time progresses. We're stuck with the very infant version of this particular thing. And unfortunately, that leaves a lot to be desired. It leads to a very large negative interaction with the content because there's nothing there to really do. It's been boring. The bugs have been obnoxious. There's been a lot of things that just have made it a less than ideal experience. But I do have faith that this company has got a decent idea of what the hell they're doing. We just haven't gotten to the full picture yet. And unfortunately, we've been stuck in this never-ending cycle for the last 2 weeks, and it's probably going to go on for another 6 weeks of just trust me, bro. Trust the process. It'll get better. And I'm like, people hate that answer, but I do think that once we get the full picture, we will not be as upset about it. But unfortunately, it's can the player base wait through that time, or do we intentionally freak out and start grounding our ships on the rocks? I mean, you know, I'm not too worried about it. I got time to burn. I'm not fussed about it because nothing's changing. It's just content we can't interact with besides Coliseum. And so it's like,
I'm not too
Yeah.
fussed about it. I can wait. I can see what happens in 2.5 months from now and make a more informed decision then on if I need to freak out and start yelling at them for dumb decisions. But I think right now is that the player base is so pent up about not knowing that raging against the machine is becoming the more and more likely outcome they want to throw. They just want to be mad at things because they don't understand. So I think if they can address some of that, calm the waters a little bit, and give us a little bit bigger of an idea of what the hell we're looking for and what things are going to look like when it's done, I think we could get to a better picture. But I don't think the ship's crashing or sinking or anything like that. I just think that people are upset, they're freaking out, and they're lashing out the only way they know how. But I don't think it's going to be the end of the game.
I completely agree. I don't think that this is not a signal of the game dying. This might just be a misfire from CG. Like, they didn't really hit the mark with this one, and I think time will tell. Ultimately, I think that the game will bounce back. We've seen people quit. We'll probably see new people come, and maybe in 6 months, people that have quit will start to filter back into the game again. Not all of them, obviously. Some of them will. And CG will micro adjust, and things will change slightly. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm relatively confident that's the case. So James Zad asks, with the economy changes, are regular energy / fleet energy refreshes worth less than their crystal cost for mid to late game players and beyond? Very few character farms remaining. I mean, I'll speak for myself on this one. I don't refresh normal energy, and I don't refresh fleet energy. I haven't done for a long time now. I only do Cantina and mod energy in terms of refreshes outside of Conquest, obviously. Because there's just no point, in my opinion. There's no point in refreshing that energy.
I refresh it once on fleet, and then typically only once on regular. But that's because I'm using that energy to farm relic materials, and since I need a large volume of them, a couple extra pieces of the bayonets every day doesn't hurt me. And for the cost of the refresh on crystals, it's worth the gamble on the outcome of doing those.
But you don't have a lot of crystals, dude.
Not the way I spend them. Holy crap, dude. Coked up rockstar over here. God, I've probably gone through like 90k crystals in the last 2 weeks.
Holy crap. On what?
Relic mats, refreshes, random
Hookers and blow,
tags.
mostly.
Well, a lot of it has been conquest because I've been going through the 800s on farming.
Holy crap! Okay.
Well, up to the 800s. Sorry,
I was gonna say that's some heavy refreshing. What is that? Like 9 refreshes a day? More probably.
No, because the 400 you can do 4 times, so it's 3, 6, 9. 13 refreshes a day. So I've been doing that just because it's always cheaper to refresh Conquest than it is to buy anything out of the store. Like, it is cheaper to refresh at the 800 node and roll your dice on 6 attempts to get a Datacron than it is to buy this Datacron out of the store. Now, granted, if you get screwed and you get 0, then it was worth it to buy the Datacron there, but reality is most players are not waiting till the 800s to roll for Datacrons for leveling up. So it's always cheaper to refresh the Datacrons than it is to go do stuff out of the store. Ironically, it is cheaper to refresh the store and buy the Datacron material out of the shard shop currency and the crystals than it is to buy that Datacron material pack. And I don't know why they keep releasing it as the same thing.
Probably people keep buying it.
Dude, people just don't know.
The store.
Like, yeah, refresh the store for $50. Go spend the 600 crystals on the 3 million. You still get more on average than you do buying the pack.
I refresh the Datacron store for the data cache like twice. I do the 50s every single day. I'll go and I'll refresh that just so I can keep my currency topped up and my reroll materials topped up. I'll do that every single day because that's just worth it in my opinion. But there we go. So I guess to answer your question, I mean, don't know. It's probably lost a little bit of its value, but I don't refresh that anyway. Karth only does 1 of each. But it'll never replace the value of triple refreshing your canteen or your mods. Next question comes from Darth Jar Jar, Padawan Sidious. With the changes to Relic 8 and 9 materials, is it worth pushing Poncho Bros Relic 9 by the end of the month? It's always worth pushing Poncho Bros to Relic 9, no matter what the month. Duel of the Fates is still good.
Well, and it comes back every month, so
Exactly.
you're always going to get rewarded. The era challenges or the era battles themselves, those are the ones that are harder to talk about. Because, like, yeah, we'll have some benefit right now with the anniversary and Christmas with those events recurring more
He
frequently.
means era battles, not challenges.
Whatever, I said both.
You said words, Karth, okay?
I said words. Anyways, the era battles aren't as worth it because once they cycle out, they come back way less frequently. But the assault one that they have for the Pretty Patrol and then even the Covenant of Shadows, because that comes back monthly too.
That one's great.
Well,
it's a great addition.
And then the Naboo one, those ones are always worth doing because they come back on a monthly basis. So you can easily pencil out when you'll get the rewards back on those particular investments versus the era battles themselves. Once the era ends, they're just not. It's like, well, you might do them 3 or 4 times a year. It's like, is it really worth rushing a Relic 9 Mace Windu to do that events?
I wouldn't,
for 4,000 crystals.
I wouldn't say do an R9 after for an era battle. If you missed the jump on it, I wouldn't go back and R9 them now because you're probably looking at something at best that comes back once or twice a year. But like Karth says, the recurring ones like Duel of the Fates, Peridia Patrol, and whatever the GLAT one is, I can't remember the name of it. Covenant of Shadows of big titty golf bitches. That one, yeah, sure. Okay, next question. We've still got loads of questions here, Karth, so I'm going to try and rifle through a little bit quicker.
Sure.
Slevin asks, we now understand Relic Delta. In Conquest, would it be prudent to increase rewards they have in other areas whilst raising the level of difficulty? It feels like shrinkflation. Love the channel, sir. Well, thank you, Slevin, for loving the channel. I'm not sure what you mean. Why would they increase the rewards? They've made Conquest easier.
Well, it's got to be for people who are like just hitting 4 million GP getting into it, because it's now going to be a little bit harder. But we don't know how else they're adjusting the difficulty of Conquest
or the feats.
Or the feats. We don't know what's going to change with that yet. And so until we know that answer, I don't even want to argue the point, because if feats don't change a lot, or feats change that are easier to do, and if you can just get an R5 team and you can get through it, then I don't really think it's going to change anything, and I'm not worried.
I can only speak from the perspective of my alt account. Because obviously my main account is 14.5 million. Karth is nearly getting there. He's close to that. So that one is just like you ball, right? You go through, you just destroy Conquest. My alt account is only 2.5 million. But I find with my alt account, Relic Delta isn't active yet, but I'm still only using 2 or 3 teams which have got high levels of investment. So I'm talking about, I'm using my teams with Relic 7s and Relic 8s and Relic 5s rather than anything else. I'll use 2 or 3 teams to try and steamroll through. So it's like that. When Delta comes into effect in Conquest, that's not going to change. I'll still use those same teams and I'll still run low on stamina and shit like that. I don't think necessarily there's a reason to increase the rewards in Conquest. Don't get me wrong, I'd like it. I'll take extra rewards. Fuck yeah, I'll take extra rewards. But we've already had just a massive bump in accessibility of relic mats in general and the capability to take characters to higher relics. I think that's reward enough in and of itself, personally. So thank you, Slevin. Thanks, Levin. Next one comes from Sonder. Evening, Scribe in the Tribe. If CG were to make a revision on the Era/Colosseum system, what would you predict this to be, and what would you want it to be? Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, we know that we know what the revision is going to be. They're going to add loaned units to the Colosseum, which will make actual strategy and things matter a bit more. What do I want it to be? I don't even know. What I want it to be is I want there to be more to do than Colosseum in the Era system. Like I don't want PvP to a degree. I don't like the fact of just having to face, more people, I guess. or people that whale. I don't really like that idea, but there should be other things we should do with the era system. I don't have an idea quite yet of what that should look like because I'm just still trying to understand what's in front of us. But I feel like there should be more environments and where we should be able to use the characters while we're waiting to unlock them. Because honestly, the whole wait 12 weeks to use Luke is kind of like killing me slowly. So
yeah,
I don't know what else I'd do differently right now.
I don't know what CG will do to change anything. What I hope that they do is I hope that they front load the leveling system. We know they're bringing in loaned units, and we know potentially they've got some sort of mod changes or mod equivalent coming to that game mode. Hopefully that's not going to be monetized. Hopefully that's just going to be, hey, let's give you a means of manipulating stat. Maybe they'll give everybody like a static set of mods that you can move between your characters at will in the era system. What I'm hoping that they do is that they front load the leveling system so that we don't start off with a level 5. You know, the first marquee in every era doesn't start off at era level 5. I'm hoping that the first marquee unit that you get will be able to immediately go to like 25, 30, and then it tapers, right? We still end up at 65, but they just front load the start because it's really not fun to play with characters with absolutely nothing unlocked on their abilities and then being forced to spend money that is essentially a waste. Now, I don't think they'll actually do it because I think they probably look at the money that they get from people for the early invest, which is basically just wasted cash, in my opinion. Well, it's not wasted cash, but you're getting those levels for free. You're using it to get a head start in Colosseum, essentially, and get better rewards. And CG has made, I've already done a video on this, they've made ridiculous money off doing that. So I don't think that they'll change it, but I really hope that they do, because it would make the Colosseum experience at the start in that first 2 weeks a far more enjoyable experience for the player. And sometimes you've got to sacrifice a little bit of, you know, profit to make a game mode enjoyable. So who knows? Who knows what they will actually do? We'll have to wait 3 months to find out. Next one comes from Vice Torn. Given Relic Delta, which non-Galactic Legend teams would you add extra relics to?
Your Seer Ufu and Inquisitors and Bo Mandos.
Oh, Bo Mando is a huge one. Yeah.
Even the Balin squad, if you're not heavily invested into him already.
All of these sound like good choices.
And then and Malgus, stuff that's punching up quite a bit. You need to focus on those to R7. Those teams need to be R7. I get
Mara like Jade or Luthen.
5. Well, Luthen's going to be a great high relic invest moving forward because of the summons getting the relic 9 or the relic level based off whatever he is. So there's a lot of incentive on those particular squads to move their relic levels up, because like for me, one of my motivators to take my resistance squad to relic 9, besides, you know, fighting relic 9 teams with it, is that most of my opponents don't have much beyond a relic 5 Aphra. I'm like, you are not using Aphra to counter that, because if you miss one thing, that resistance team will just ball you right the hell up. And so like part of it is like there are going to be certain things where the counter is not going to matter, but getting things to relic delta 2 is really going to solve a lot of the problem. You know, RD of 2, sorry, is going to solve a lot of the problem. So a lot of those, you know, triple Omni conquest units or whatever else are going to be get those to with RD2 of what you're typically going to counter. And that's going to be your the most important part. You don't want to inadvertently lose Mara Jade to a mistimed AoE. You don't want to lose Cal to an AoE. You don't want to lose XYZ to an AoE. So you want to get that RD value lower by getting things for Relic 7. And then from there, you know, plug and play who needs what. But you know, those would be the ones that I would choose. A lot of people sleep on parts of the Malgus team because, you know, who gives a care? Malgus is all the heavy lifting. and tanks all the hits, but needing Bastila around for a little bit longer helps a lot. The team starts to fall
Yeah,
apart.
I think
without
my
her
Basti is still
gear.
R5. She needs some love.
Yeah, so that is one of them. Trey at a Relic 7 is a huge invest for a lot of people.
Definitely.
They're
Trey is
gonna
huge.
need it. They're gonna need it. But then Balin to R7 plus, Bo to R7 plus, Inquisitors to Relic 7 plus. Those are going to be like the top 5 that I would kind of work into. I know that's still like 25 characters for a lot of people, but they're the ones that they end up having the plug and play and viability to make that worth the investment. So those are the ones I'd kind of work into.
Yeah. Good responses there. I agree with pretty much what Garth was saying there. Next one comes from Padawan Sard 3KR. He says, "Hi, I was wondering if you think/know that Relic Delta is working properly in all game modes, because I've only noticed it working in the raid. We've had some mixed reports about this. It's definitely working in most game modes. Obviously, it's not active in the current Conquest. And it won't be until we move on from Stranger's Conquest. But we've had some unconfirmed reports of some really fucky stuff going on, particularly with AoEs when you are below Relic Delta, like you're in negative Relic Delta. It's really hard to verify because you need footage. We need footage to review to see what's going on. So it definitely does exist. It exists in GAC. It exists in TB. It exists in the raid, as you said. And it exists in Squad Arena. But I've had reports of people suddenly having like Slacker at a -1 Relic Delta suddenly one-tapping someone that is Relic 9 and things like that. Like weird instances of things like that, but it's so hard to figure out what's going on because things like datacrons exist and we're relying on hearsay and, people looking at things in the moment, which is why it's so important to have footage to actually review. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the biggest issue is we just don't have video footage of it, and every time we do get video footage of it, there's some sort of explanation to it. And the other problem is that things are unpredictably interacting in a way that players would find to be normal, because as far as I understand it, that the Relic Delta is a multiplier at the very end of all the sequences of things. And so once characters get certain datacrons or certain kit procs or whatever else, certain things can get out of hand very quickly because of where the multiplier is taking effect. And so it's not that it's working wrong or incorrectly. It's just that when you're adding 33% damage on an AoE that's doing 100 and some odd thousand damage, the numbers can get really wonky really quickly. So it's just there's too many unknown factors to guarantee that we know why things are the way that they are, because we don't really know as a 1-for-1 as sometimes what those text lines on a datacron transfers into as code. And so it's like when you're giving your Night Sisters 400% of their defense as offense, we don't know what that number really looks like, and we don't know how crazy that's going to get, or what their as the kit progresses or the battle progresses, how those numbers are going to fluctuate with other factors. And so what seems really absurd at a given time might just be that it's being exemplified by the existence of Relic Delta and not that Relic Delta is behaving incorrectly.
Yeah. So confusing. We don't know. Hatchet asks, I'm sure you talked about this before, but what do you use to keep the dome scraped? I've been using a Mach 3 from way back. So I basically, every morning when I shower, I shave my head with basically a safety razor. And I've got a foil shaver, essentially, that I use after I come out of the shower. And I just... And then I moisturize afterwards, because if you shave your head, you need to moisturize it. In my experience, anyway. Karth is not a full embracer of the Chrome Dome bald life.
Yeah, but you fully shave. Like I just trim down to little nubbins. You fully shave.
I do. I fully shave
it down. So that's a different, because like for me, I'm just like I use a trimmer and just go until it's gone.
Yeah, I go full Lex Luthor. So thank you, Hatchet. Bobby Buckets asks, what factions do you think will be lifted next? Which character would you choose to lift them? All right, obligatory proxy comment.
Yeah. Honestly, I have a hard time believing that the next era will be a bunch of lifters. I think it will be back to the normal way we see eras, which is that entire era will go to building up a new particular team, which is also why I think this particular era sucks, because there's so much stuff we want to play with because we can play with it now. It's like when we were getting the pirates, no one cared that we couldn't use the pirates until Maz or Pirate King Hondo came out, because that was the whole point. We were waiting for the team to be developed. We weren't waiting to use them somewhere else. Where it's like, I could use Luke with Leia right now. I could use IG with Afro as soon as IG releases. I could use Asajj with Boba Fett and Fennec as soon as she releases. So like, there's a lot for me that's like the anticipation of this particular era is a lot higher than what we would normally face. And so that's where it's kind of getting everyone upset, is that this particular one has got a lot going on. I would love for them to do another era of filling up some random other stuff, just for kicks and giggles' sake. Give us a new Rebel fighter for Mon Mothma and perhaps Saw. Give us a couple other options for Imperial troopers. You could do a whole bunch of fun things with it. I just don't think we're going to see that trend be very consistent. I think the anniversary era that we're going to probably see happen more yearly is going to be that kind of thing where they take that time to build up different teams and different factions for giggles' sake. But I think the other 3 eras throughout the year are going to be working on specific teams for specific releases at a specific time. And we're not going to really deviate too much from that. That would be my first guess moving forward.
I would think that you're mostly right. I think that most if we're getting 6 characters per era, I think it's most, and especially if it's getting a journey guide at the end, I think it's probably true that we get 2 teams, or rather, we get 2 half teams each era, or 3 characters out of a 5-man team, and then there's going to be a journey guide. So they might technically be lifting, but I think it's more a case of they will be leading, and they will take someone. Like if you look at Jedi Master Mace Windu, right? He basically had Depper and Temple Guard and himself, and he lifted units like Ayla, right? Like Ayla had a bit of an uplift in viability, and then we took Jocasta Nu from Conquest. I think it's more likely that you get like, in any given era, you're going to have 2 halves with maybe some shitty characters that don't really get used anymore, and those get a little bit of an uptick. What it could be, no clue, dude. There's loads of crappy teams, loads of crappy units that need an uplift.
I mean, there are, but we have to start moving towards the next content cycle release, which is probably going to be raid driven, or Galactic Legend, or Galactic Legend Fleet, whatever the hell you want to call those things.
Or Galactic Legend Raid Fleet.
Yeah, whatever you want it to be.
All of the above.
I think that's where we got to be pushing next, is what my head and my heart says. So I can't see many lifters coming out of the next one unless it happens to just so happen work that it's like, hey, we could fit character number 6 as a lifter into the theme of whatever the hell this is.
Yeah.
But that as an overarching entire era doing a bunch of lifters again, I don't see that happening until next year.
So next one comes from Expectory P, and he asks, favorite beer? Garth, what's your favorite beer, bro?
I like Mac and Jack's African Amber Ale.
Ah, sounds nice. I don't know what that is. I'm really easy to please. I'll drink pretty much anything if it's wet, bubbly, and gets me buzzed.
The open one in front of me.
Usually the one that's in my hand is my favorite beer right now.
Yeah, I like ambers and lagers a lot. I'm not a huge fan of stouts. I don't like IPAs very often.
I do like a Guinness.
I don't hate Guinness, or I don't hate stouts. It's just not what I want to go to, because it's like most stouts feel like I'm drinking a loaf of bread.
Yeah, they're quite heavy.
So I like being in the red ale kind of section, lager, dark red ale, somewhere in there, kind of that I'm okay with. That's kind of my jam. Don't really care for pilsners. Don't really care for a lot of the other types. I don't mind anything in particular. If someone brings me a beer, I'm not going to turn you away. I refuse it. Well, except for a couple. There was a few things I will refuse.
Foster's,
to drink,
how dare you?
Yeah. Foster's, Bud Light, a couple other ones. There are certain things that I don't enjoy. I never grew up on it. I don't have an affinity for it, so I don't drink it. But like I used to when I was growing up, I was like, well, only such a class of person drinks that shitty tasteless beer. And then
I turned my nose up at you, sir.
Yeah, the older I got, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. Who gives a shit? It's alcohol.
just drink it, bro. You'll be a happier person. All right, so Bubba Joe asks, a gigantic fan of your Hondo impersonation. What would it take to get you to read The Night Before Christmas as Hondo? Hondo, artistic license for the story aloud. I doubt I'm the only fan of this. What would it take to read? I don't think the poem's called that, though, is it? It's not called The Night Before Christmas. It's like A Visit from St. Nicholas, I think it's called. And I don't know the poem. I only know A Night Before Christmas.
It depends how much copyright's going to happen here. Because
exactly,
I
bet I could go to ChatGPT and say, change this to do an alternative version of A Visit from St. Nicholas by Hondo Ohnaka in the Star Wars universe. I bet it would come up with a decent poem, and I would do that if we hit 26,000 subs by the end of the year. Yeah, I'll do it then. All right. Maybe I'll do it for Christmas. I'll release it on Christmas Day. I imagine that could be quite fun and profitable.
It could be profitable.
Yeah. Rover asks, well, we know where this is going, Garth. Seeing Skeleton Crew's second episode has little chance. Oh, he's moved on. Thank you, Roy. Have you watched all of the first part of Stranger Things? And what's the general feeling about the show without spoilers? Is this something that Star Wars could learn from? That's the first question. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, Garth.
Nope, never have, never will.
I'm a massive Stranger Things fan, so I will answer this question. I will answer this one. I thought it was pretty good. It's 4 episodes. I'm not sure how many episodes we're getting in total.
Probably 8, if I take a stab at it.
Could be, yeah. I know we're getting more. I think it's Christmas Day and then New Year's Day, I think is when it finishes or something like that. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. Are the action scenes great? No, but it's well paced. It's got good production value. I like it. Yeah, I think Star Wars could definitely learn from it. But the problem is everything that Stranger Things puts out takes years to make. It's been 2 years since their last season. Asking Star Wars to take that long to create new content is unreasonable. Like, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So
Star Wars needs different lessons learned. Their genre doesn't really work to Stranger Things. The framework doesn't work either. They tried something similar, and not in a good fashion, but with Skeleton Crew, and even then it was kind of like it. Yeah, it's not a terrible concept, but you're catering to a very specific demographic, and it's very hard to bleed that over. There's a very certain Star Wars style that people are expecting, and if it ever deviates outside of that, it usually just gets ripped to shreds.
Yeah. So yeah. Next question is, do you think we are getting a Life Day event this year?
Just a ton of events.
We usually. I'm hoping they run the errors again. I hope they run the error battles again, because that would be so good.
They've at least done all the assault battles on like a full week. You get an assault battle every day, kind of thing. And so I would assume that they would do that and bring back some of the air battles with it. They do that pretty much every Christmas, so I would assume just a lot of rerun of those economy events. We might get a double run of Smuggler's Run. Back to back, we might get a lot of assault battles and stuff like that too.
I hope so. Yeah, because that would be good. They usually do something, but I don't think they really. Sometimes they'd say Life Day event, don't they? But whatever.
Well, yeah, it's not Christmas. It's Life. It's Life
Day.
So maybe.
Final question from Roy is: with Christmas coming, do you have any Christmas decorations tying to our beloved Star Wars universe? How about you, Garth?
Not a one.
I've got this. All right. And it's not really a Christmas decoration, but my mum, for some reason, bought me a Star Wars Lego calendar. So every day,
an advent calendar.
It's an advent calendar with tiny little Star Wars Lego figurines in. So every day I'll get to open one of these and I'll have a little Star Wars Lego icon. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Because it's hard to put on here, but can you see, like, we've got like a B2 over here, and we've got a C3PO up here, and I don't know, is that a Gonk droid? I think so. Yeah, the 24 gifts in the advent calendar. I can't wait. It'll be sick. But other than that, no, I don't have any Yuletide Star Wars decorations, unfortunately. Thank you, Roy. Appreciate your questions, sir. Next up, we've got Swuggo Marco. Swuggo Marco is asking, after hearing you talk about the new cost per character, has CG got its own department for monetizing, or does that come from the blue-haired Karens from from EA Marketing? I guarantee you that there is a division within CG that talks all about monetization and profit-generating revenues.
I mean, I honestly would not be surprised if that wasn't all.
It's their biggest department.
No,
oh, well, you think it's outsourced, really?
No, I would think that there would be something within EA and themselves where they deal with they give the information to the marketing company, and then they do all the field work of where things should be at, and they kick it back to them. Because I mean, honest to God, I don't think that they have certain metrics they want to hit. I can guarantee you that part. But I don't think they have a whole marketing department their entire job is to price out packs. I think they literally just have somebody that gives them that feedback and they send it through.
Well, I can promise you this. They'll have things like a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan with certain thresholds and targets for them to hit in any given year. And it's up to the team to make sure that they hit that. Now, whether they do outsource the pricing, the individual pricing, I don't know. I don't know. I imagine they've got models built in that they just run stuff through and they're like, I want to put a pack out for this. How much would we charge based on our internal modeling? And they go from that and they throw it into an AI. It's essentially an AI model that will help them price stuff. That's how I think it would be done. But I don't know. I imagine a whole lot of time and effort goes into that sort of monetization model because that's what these games are built on. Richie Fritch asks, if you were able to set a full Relic 9 defense, would you, or are you not seeing Relic Delta making that much difference? Also have nothing under Relic 8 for offense. That's a side note. I think it really depends, dude. It really depends where you are, where you play, who you face. Like, you could really be a dick and be like, oh yeah, I'm in fucking Carbonite 5. I can set a full Relic 9 defense and they won't clear a single section. Or you could be in Kyber 1, and it won't really make a material difference apart from certain teams becoming more and more difficult. A far broader thing really comes down to how are those teams modded, how are those teams datacroned up. That's what's really going to make the difference, even with Relic Delta in play, unless you are facing vast Relic Delta differences compared to your opponent.
It's when you've got like a 12 million GP versus a 4 million GP, and they can just out dick you on every team being high relic investment. Then those are the players that are going to get initially screwed by that system. Beyond that, for most part, R7 is still going to functionally do well enough into R9. It shouldn't change things too greatly.
Yeah. So, Chicken Bun asks, am I just cooked, or is the Profundity Unlock event stupidly hard and soul-destroying? I finally got through it, but my phone was nearly launched at the wall a couple of times. Does Relic Delta have an effect on this event like it does on Starkiller? So the quick answer is no.
No.
Yeah.
Relic Delta should not impact fleets.
No.
Should not impact fleets at all. But the Profundity event was that way.
A pain in the ass, yeah. It always was.
It always was. It was just that the unlock sucked, and then get the repeatable mission was tolerable. But
didn't they not let you use the Millennium Falcon in it or something?
You can't use the Millennium Falcon, and so that's why it's so challenging. Is because you're playing the fleet literally with one arm and one leg tied behind your back. It becomes very challenging to work on that. So
yeah, for sure. Wayne asks, is it worth more to bring Reaver from R7 to R9 or Dooku from R1 to R8 for Bane first in Kyber 2? I don't know what you mean, Bane.
Well, Reva's not Sith. So she's useless to bring up to higher relics because Bane wants a Sith ally.
Oh,
for his
sorry.
rule of 2.
Oh my God, sorry. I misunderstood what the question was there. Yeah, absolutely. Carp, you're right. Yeah.
Secondly, yeah, it would be better to take Dooku to Relic 8. Like, to compare in the two, you need a Sith. Now, Dooku's not a bad high relic investment because he's already needed Relic 8 for a GL unlock, so that's not a bad one to do. You could pick a lot of other Sith options, but since he's already needed a relic investment, that's not bad. The other one that's a pretty cheap go-to and has a lot of other uses outside of Bane is Set, which is Sith Empire Trooper. Just because he's a pre-taunt, he can take some of the fights and
great defense as well.
Allow some of the worst shit to hit him before Bane allows Bane time to pop off. But I would look at it between those two, and I would say it's either Set or Dooku, and I would prefer Set over Dooku, but Dooku does have use other places, so if you're really resource strapped, I would pick the requirement over the luxury.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. LBC Robbie, how you doing, brother? He says, real quick, and please be honest, how hard has it been to defend CG over the past month? Tell the truth. Robbie, I don't know if you've seen my videos, bro. I've not really been defending CG over the last month. Don't get me wrong. There are things that I think they've done in this update that are good. Changes to the economy, I think, are good. And to say otherwise, I think, is to just put your head in the sand. But there's so much about this update that has had a negative impact. And I think that there's so much still pointing towards more negative impacts in the future. I haven't really been defending them. I've been calling them out where I feel like it's deserved.
I've been doing my damnedest to be a CG shill. I'm not gonna lie. But again, that's why so much of what I've been saying has been prefaced with I need to see the bigger picture before I feel like I need to stop defending the trust me bro process. I do want to believe that they have a system in place. They're going to deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on. It's just that we are on the infantile steps of this and we're getting a negative experience because it doesn't feel like it used to. I think that they will rectify that problem. I think it'll get better as we progress. I think the next era will learn from these mistakes, make the improvements, and we will have a better experience moving forward. But if we get to the end of this era and they don't do a damn thing different, they're just like, run it again, then yeah, I'm gonna put that down. And then we're going to join Ranger and just see how many expletives we can get linked together and still make a coherent sentence of how pissed off we are about what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's where I'll go if they don't make any changes in a way. But I have to sit back and go, I'm not viewing the entire picture. I need to wait. I get that it sucks, but I'm in a position to where I'm okay with that. And I'll do that. And I advise players to do that. But if that doesn't wind up being the case, then we just, all hell lets loose. Because I don't know what else is going to get their attention if we don't.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Rule of Two asks, what kind of mid-range... Oh, we've already answered this. He's asking what teams to take up now that are non-GLs. We've already kind of touched on this point, Rule of Two. I'd advise you go back through the podcast afterwards. But essentially, your standard B-tier teams that are conquest units, that are using legendary units, that sort of thing, up them as much as possible, because Relic Delta doesn't change what's meta, essentially. Tommy asks, in your opinion, what should be the make good look like for all the errors and the bugs, and do you think we'll actually get one?
It'll probably just be a fat wad. Well, fat wad is relative. It'll probably be a small wad of era currency. It'll probably be enough to get like maybe 10 R10 mats.
Yeah, this is from people not being able to collect their Colosseum rewards, and we know that they're going to fix the. They're going to fix Jocasta and rerun the era battle for.
Nightfall, hold on. I don't want you to put your foot in your mouth here. It has been recommended that they rerun it. It has not been confirmed that they will. I just want to make that clear. That it has been recommended that they rerun the event. It has not been confirmed that they will, because I don't want to be like, "Where's my era battle?" Scribe said on Tribe Talks that you guys were gonna do it.
What a dick, that bald-headed Welsh bastard. How dare he? Yeah, if it
You
doesn't
took
happen,
me at my
just-
word for it.
yeah,
I was drunk at the time.
that's usually every time, Kath.
Well, I'm trying to give you a little bit of smoke screen here, so take it or
Yeah.
leave it.
So our final question of the evening comes from Richie Fritch. He says, "Great show, gentlemen." Thank you, Richie. "Do we think that the attacker long text Datacron is working as expected? It's fun in Squad Arena, but when I one-shot a full team, for example, the Ray video I watched, Ben is almost one-shotting a full R9 Lord Vader team. Well, mine is. It's because of the buffs. It's because of the buffs. So Lord Vader has got the Ashes of the Republic for the Datacron. That is counting as buffs, and every buff is giving 25% damage lift to the attacker, basically. So when
Which,
Rey
in
does her ultimate
theory-
against like PK Hondo, and he's got shitloads of profit, it is multiplying her ultimate to absurd levels of damage.
Which, in fairness, that part is technically bugged.
Yeah, because
Blue buffs
they're not buffs.
are not
they're
supposed
status
to
effects,
count
yeah.
as buffs or status effects. So technically, yes, that part is bugged. But there are plenty of other teams that have oodles and oodles of buffs. Like Bane is going to easily just mow down Queen Amidala. If you see
It's
Queen
no
Amidala in
contest,
defense and you got a Bane with an attacker cron, he will just obliterate the crap out of that particular team. But that being beside the point, parts of that, in theory, yes, are not working properly because blue status effects are not supposed to be buffs.
No, they're supposed to be unique status effects, essentially.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it'd be interesting. I'm not sure if, like, Boba Fett's rocket is dealing all that bonus damage versus PK Hondo. Do we know?
Well, it's not, because he's looking at his rocket is looking at a specifically other mechanic. So I don't know if I haven't done enough testing with it to tell you.
Yeah.
Part of me
I'm not
is
sure.
like, yeah, you need as many freaking attack crons as you can get your hands on, plus a small smattering of the other ones. But at the same time, I feel like it's going to get Monday morning and CG is going to come in and go,
Wow.
hey, by the way, no.
I mean, if they do that, I hope they're going to refund me a whole fuckload of Mark II reroll mats, because I have spent like thousands.
Yeah,
like re-rolling my Datacrons. So if they're gonna nerf it, they need to give me back a shitload of reroll mats, because I've spent all of mine. Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. It's usually CG doesn't correct on a Datacron. They usually just let it ride out. But we don't know
unless it's too great. Unless it's
good.
too game. Yeah, unless it's too good. Which that's my only clause with that, is that whenever attacker uses a special ability, they deal 25% more damage for each buff on the target enemy.
Yep.
I feel like that's gonna get changed to, like, it will deal 25% damage per enemy with a buff and then get capped at 125%, which is still great.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're gonna walk it back down, because there's if it's overperforming in some directions, they're gonna have to cap it, because it's just gonna trivialize a lot of counters. And they may not. I don't know, but I feel
we might just have like I've said this before. Like I really like it right now, but come ask me in 4 months' time how I feel about the Attackacron. I might have a very different opinion.
Yeah, like everyone with the Raycron by month 4.
Yeah, it's like, oh, for God's sake, here we go. And we're just, oh God, Ray got into Ultimate. All right, we're all dead. Is it going to be stuff like that? Who knows? But I usually, they don't tend to fix it.
No, they typically don't. It's just let it ride because it's temporary. But if it is extreme enough, they might. And so I don't want to say that they will. I don't think that they will either. But for what it's doing right now, I think it's a little too overpowered, because you can just get Ray into ult with Ray Ben, and odds are you can two-man PK Honda, or basically you can two-man a GL, which I think they're going to say no to.
Probably.
So that's I could be wrong. I'm just saying, for everyone who's not a massive whale on Datacrons, you might want to hold out the first week of GAC on going nuts on anything. That's all I'm going to say.
So we've had one last question slide in the side. We are going to cut it off after this one, but Richie Fritch asks, I know you just touched on it, but do we think that Jocasta New will be fixed before the GAC lock-in, which is in a couple of days' time?
No.
Yeah, I would say no. It's not really giving them a whole lot of time to find the... but the thing is, they definitely know what the issue is. They fixed it before. They fixed it several times. So it could be a quick and easy fix, and we do normally see an update go into the game on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It doesn't really matter if it's fixed before lock-in. It matters if it's fixed before attack phase starts. I still say probably not, because it's not a whole lot of time for CG to fix it. But maybe. Maybe is all I will say. All right, cool. We're going to wrap it up there. Karth, we've spoken far too long.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, maybe.
Yeah, for me. Yeah, I mean, I got to go to bed. It's 2.5 hours long. I think we took the hind legs off a space donkey, and it was a good time. Yeah. We back around next Sunday.
Oh, we should be. I think the only one I've got a little bit in question will be the 13th.
Okay.
Well, not the 13th. I guess it is the 13th of December.
Very good. Very good.
14th,
so
sorry.
We should see you guys next weekend. So peace out. Big love. And make sure you like the stream, like the podcast recording, and leave us a review on Spotify. Good night, everybody. Big love.